Welcome, everyone, to my look at the newest version of Black Ice, built on the recent update for um, uh, Hearts of Iron 4. I'm trying to think. It's Arms Against Tyranny, DLC slash, and I don't think the DLC is required, the paid slash just updated game, because that's all I have, and it seems to be working fine. So, we're going to be taking a look at this latest version of Black Ice updated. Those either watching now or you're watching the videos as these are being put out will note that I will be, excuse me, I should drink something here. I will be continuing my playthrough of the previous game in which we're into Barbarossa. I just wanted to, and I was asked by a few people to look at the economy and other things. So this is not meant to be a full playthrough at all. I'm spending, making a few episodes on Saturday, taking a look at the game and the changes that have been made. So if you're looking for a big, full playthrough and how it, to get involved in the story of how it goes, this ain't it. This is just what has been changed. So keep that in mind. So we will be back to that. Now, I did announce for the when I was doing the before coming up live with the Discord, so maybe a few people from the either been playing the test version, which we can see here. There's a nice link to it here, or some of the devs may show up at some point during the live stream. That would be great. Or hey, if you're watching this later, please comment below. Love to hear your. Tell me where I'm wrong and whatnot. Because I'm going to critique. And I want to say this up front here as well, because I do hope a few of the devs who put a lot of effort into Black Ice understand. Right now, you're my favorite mod. Okay, you did not let me down. You got rid of the horrid effects of invading Russia that made me rage quit. You you got that changed, and um, with the railway systems, and I'm just, again, it was a haphazard slash learning, but a campaign game, and I'm pretty deep in. I'm having what I think are realistic supply concerns now. So please understand all the criticisms that I'm going to be leveling against whether this version, the previous version of Black Ice. It's coming from a place of love. I want you to be better. This isn't a hate session, a hate on Hearts of Iron or Black Ice at all. This is coming from a place of love and wanting you to be better. And hello, Arno, my friend. Good to have you here. Okay, so this is the very first time we're starting it up here. Yes, we have the graphics mod. I'm playing on a rather good computer, so we're not going to deal with any of the performance options to make it perform better. Just wanted to show this off for the overview here. And settings, I don't know what it does. Maybe that's just sort of a placeholder. So we're going to exit this here. So nice thing if you wanted to get it, excuse me, set so you can play it. Right. The new economy. That is the big change. So far, in looking at it, and we will be looking at it in more detail and specifically, it seems to be a reasonable look at industry for the period and the importance of it so far. I've yet to, I understand food. I've yet to understand how the food really works into the game. Now, my concerns with the food. It has not been directly allowed, and now it's out on Steam, so um, Paradox doesn't have as much control. It has not been directly allowed to be a function in the game because of war atrocities, shall we say, or just atrocities, the Holodomor, which happened not during a specific war for the Soviet Union. It had, it's more than just rationing of food that can be. So for those reasons, it was deemed best to not try to model it in Hearts of Iron. Not, hey, Sing, I'm doing very well. Thank you. And good to see you as well. So, and yes, I'm recording this live. We'll give people a chance to interact with me, not just generally, but also specifically on what we're doing here. And as Singh would probably mention, during World War II, the very large numbers, I've seen huge numbers thrown around, but it's in the millions that died in India due to famine. Unlike the Holodomor, I mean, very likely maybe, I don't know the numbers. More people died in India, but in the Indian famine situation, there just wasn't food available in that region. I'm not saying there wasn't food somewhere in the British Empire or somewhere within the Allied controlled territories. There was no food there. But for the Holodomor, there was food. There were just Soviet soldiers all over the farms, literally shooting people who had tried to go to the field to take the food. And the food was being taken to feed the sort of Moscow / whatever industrial complex that was sort of at the heart of Russia. So we have, that is, there is a difference. So hello, Carlos, how you doing? And I understand you're deaf, so hopefully you can do the if they do over on YouTube, you can watch the stream over on YouTube if you wish, instead of Twitch, if you can hear me. I don't know how much, but they do have a function either live. I don't know if it works live, but for subtitles. Sure. Sing, pose your question about HOI IV. So we do have these serious controversies over food and handling that. So, and just quote unquote, how evil do you want your regime to be? That is a serious question for understanding it. And another element with food. No, at least not in the. I'm saying no. There is no building of camps in HOI IV the game, and I don't know of any mods that add camps like that of any type. So basically, no, as far as I know. As far as I know. So from, I believe, the Goebbels diaries, one of the pushes to invade the Soviet Union was to get food, because Germany, although was importing massive amounts of food from the Soviet Union at the time, wanted to realize that they weren't able, or they weren't producing enough food to feed their population, their occupied population, places like France, the Netherlands, Denmark. They wanted more food. Now, I do know as a fact that Germany itself was not producing as much food as it could at the time. Because there were big programs going on at the time to expand food production, and they could have, I believe, and the details go in, you could be looked into it, could, and we will see as we go on and play some of this, and I know this is a lot of history talking starting out, but they could have, instead of sending the army to march into the Soviet Union, used the army to, the manpower of the army to improve farming, improve land usage, on all of that. So there is that as a very real element. Okay, so food is something that we will see about, I don't know, here, but we want to come here. This is an important new element here at trade, to trade and unassigned refineries. So we have conversions here. So we are, an interesting term for it, we need steel. We have, and so what they've now done is they now have coal and iron. Okay. And then you make steel. So we can see here, we can get to, we have, we've used up all of ours. You can see it sort of turning to blue here. So we don't have enough iron, partially because we can see here, 41 iron there and 165 iron here that are currently being assigned, it appears, to Britain and France. Well, I don't know about the steel, but the iron, because the flag's right next to it. So what did, and this, the title, hey Starstreak, how you doing? What did Black Ice get right and what did Black Ice get wrong? The sort of subtitle for this episode and the live stream. Here is where I may, put my foot in my mouth and say incorrect things. But as far as I know, in January 1, 1936, not 1935, not 1934, 1936, all of the industry here was no longer puppeted and being exploited by the British, the French, or the Belgians, as far as I know. And I can be wrong because I haven't specifically looked into it. What happens very shortly in 1936, from the starting of it, is the remilitarization of the Rhine. And partially what that includes, I do believe, is taking some of the industry and allowing it to start building armaments again as well. But it is the remilitarization, not the Germanization of the industry here. I've looked in fairly heavy detail in 1936, so some of the earlier periods I'm a bit unsure. In 1935, Germany retakes back the Saarland. Okay, so in 1935, now I think it's less than a year. I mean, I don't think it was January 1. I think it was mid 35, but I don't have the exact dates. This part of the Rhineland, so according to this, it would be, 3 civil factories and 2 military factories, still had been being exploited by the French. Stages earlier, this has been have been taken out. So this is not the most correct thing. So I would say they're getting this wrong, though, because it is fairly correctable. It isn't that big of a problem. But we need more steel. So let's be somewhat historical. We're going to why can't we see here? I want to import steel. Ah, okay. I'm understanding this now for a bit here. Because steel is a produced item now instead of a resource on the map. Day 1, hour 1, I'm just guessing here, but I think I'm on solid ground. There is no steel available. Okay, so let's do some oil. Let's see if we can get some oil. We want to go to where is Iran? Where's Romania? Where's Romania? I just like being blind and missing. Oh, there's. Okay, here we are. There we go. Let's. Well, let's try to get 24. We want to get some oil because we are we're going to have fuel problems here. I know it a little bit from my test place. So let's grab up that. We also want to get some aluminum production going. We don't have a whole lot of bauxite, so we can go do that. Let's also look here. Yeah, this is bauxite. Let's go to Hungary and let's grab up some. Okay, they just haven't accepted our trade deal. Synthetic fuel production. We can do max 2, and synthetic rubber production looks like we can do max 1 until we get to, not enough refineries here. So, we do have that. That is interesting here. Now, construction. I have noticed that there are a lot more ICs, but you're using your ICs to do other things. So we will do this to increase our ICs. And hello, Lord Samuel. How you doing? Oh, sorry to hear that. Hello, Carlos. Let's see. Carlos is over there on. Oh, honey. Hi, Carlos. Hopefully, we can see that. Let's see. Beat me if I defeat in wrestling match. I get $5.35 back. Okay. Hello, Darian. Or Darren. Plus 3 million who start. Yes, I did mention that earlier. In India, took huge quantity of food to feed its military expenses at the expense of India. Okay, Darren. As far as I know, that is not the case. Millions died in famine in India. They did not take, and it's in this part of India in which they died in. They did not take quantities of food in that area to go feed um, uh, the military, as far as I know. What I understand that happened, it was a combination of things. Local British administration encouraged or ordered, I'm not quite sure which, large amounts of production or growth of non-food items. I don't know if it was hemp or other non-food items, and crop failure. it was not taking food from here. They were exporting, and there was a surplus of food down in Australia. They were exporting food from Australia, and it was at the time going to Britain. The ships could have been diverted to India. I do not know, I honestly do not know that even if they tried, they would have been capable of feeding everybody because of the transportation infrastructure situations at the time. Now, could they have saved people? Oh, absolutely. Could they have saved large numbers of people? I'm sure. I don't think they had, I don't know if they had the capability to save everyone because it was a situation. So, well, I hope your hand gets better, Singh, and I hope Lord Samuel also gets well from his flu. So, yeah, it's there's quite a bit of propaganda like around a lot of things, but on the food. So food is an interesting question. We will see how that goes. I don't know if that benefits the game that we're dealing with. All right, so we've got our civil industry being produced more because we would like more of it. We've got we're down on steel, we're down on aluminum, but we're going to get some of that into production. Okay, now there is a mistake here. I'm going to call this a bug. For some reason, they are starting out Germany with basically 1 day's worth of political power. That is wrong. And see, we're not going to cheat here one little bit. We're going to correct. Let's start with 900 political power, because that seems more reasonable starting for Germany at this time. I am vehemently opposed to. I don't know that this is, and it's definitely not limited to paradox games, but I vehemently oppose the idea that you should always start with little and build up. You should start with something historical. Hitler had lots of political power. The idea that I agree with is that you shouldn't be like, oh, well, 1 month we need him in here, so we're jumping him over, and then next month we're going back to him in this position, jumping back and forth, min-maxing all the time. That is where, because the whole idea of there wasn't, you don't reshuffle the cabinet, or you don't min-max jumping these things around, back and forth. Oh, well, we're going to research a fighter, so we're going to do fighter this time, and the next time we're going to this is aircraft designer Henschel does aircraft, I don't know. We're going to go do bombers or something, or so we're going to jump over to Ukers, and then we're going to go back to fighters. Jumping back and forth. That's the idea of this political power. Not to keep you from making any changes, but not to jumping around. So we're going to, and so I don't understand. One we'll talk about, but I don't understand why these two are empty at the start of the game. And if you want to keep them empty and then allow the player to put them in here, can you invade other countries? Absolutely. Absolutely, Singh. That's the whole point of this, is invading other countries. Now, the subtitle again is What They Got Right and What They Got Wrong. I had to look up Hans Karl. I guess in theory you could make Hans Karl the Minister for Education and Schools, but the Minister for Education and Schools was Bernard Rust. Why do you have Hans Karl as the Minister for Education and Schools? Why not? Now you can go, titles don't mean anything. Just look at their game effects. Well, then why have titles at all? Okay. Hans Karl, I had never really heard of him. He is a nobody, a true nobody in the National Socialist regime. He was put at, I think, in 35, because I had to look him up last night, as Minister for Ecclesiastical Affairs, meaning religious affairs. He was trying to, within the party, heal or deal with the rift between the Christians within the Nazi Party and the anti-Christians within the Nazi Party. The Nazi Party leadership, Hitler, Himmler, Hess, and Ribbentrop were all, and Derriere up here, and Roost were all serious anti-Christians. They were anti-Christians. He fails. He dies in, I believe, in 41. I don't know the causes. It didn't say. He is a literal nobody. He never even got to have a one-on-one meeting, according to Wikipedia. I don't know how accurate that is, with Hitler. So he was a nothing. I don't know why he is here. Bernard Rust is the Minister for Education and Science, but he really didn't run the science bureaus, the research bureaus. He was a fuck up. And yes, he should be all just about everything negative. Research, he should be. I would make him at a start and make you change him, but so he is a nothing of a person. Walter Derriere, I don't know. Max Factories and State, that is quite appropriate. That it's negative. I would okay, here again is what they get wrong in this. It says food extraction factor, because he is Minister of Agriculture and Farming, and if you have him here, food extraction factor goes up. Walter Doré, no, and no. He should have a negative, down 5 or down 10% for food extraction factor, okay? He should make it worse, okay? He should make it worse. This goes back to the National Socialists cutting their own throat. Well, Richard, I'll call him Walter because he's also known as Walter, sorry, but Richard or Walter Derriere, he did not believe in monoculture. He did not want, he believed that it existed. He did not want to have big farms producing the same thing over and over. He was an organic farmer. He wanted to do organic farming. So it should reduce down recruitable population because it'll take more people to do your organic farming. It'll be less productive. He was the person who was pushing the blood and soil ideology within the party heavily, and the blood and soil was a back to traditional farming kind of movement. Not to not use any machinery, powered machinery, but it wanted to get back to the gentleman farmer, wanted to do more organic farming, wanted to do more crop rotations. He would fuck up your food production. And I hope I'm getting this right, because I think this comes from Hitler's Monsters, great book. But one of the books, and I could be getting some of this wrong, but I think I have the right person. He was an organic farmer, not pharmacist as in pharmacies, but farmer pushing. So he would industrial farm construction speed, negative 10%. I know he has the title of Minister of Agricultural and Farming, but if you really want to put him in charge and give him, because all of these, or not all of these, but a bunch of these people, including like Franz von Papen, all definitely existed and all were in the government at the same time. I take this as being, what do you want to emphasize? What do you want to give a lot of power to? So if you give this guy the power, this is what they're getting wrong. So, yes, and what, hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promote. Okay, there's I don't know if you've already killed it over on Twitch, a bot thingy. You can kill it. Okay, I was wondering around okay, Sing is saying, wandering around the internet and see an app that sells you World War II stuff you use for. Be careful. A lot of that stuff is fake, Sing. So I wouldn't buy much of it. I'll look again for resources that I discovered that several years ago. I found it seemed credible. Research that. Okay, Darren, I'm not sure. Was there something? If you're just commenting on what I'm talking about, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I'm pretty good at. I've looked into the National Socialist regime pretty deep, and I'm sure I'm getting some details wrong in what I'm saying here, just because I'm going off memory. Um, when I actually when I mod or actually do research, write stuff, I go in deep. So Rust is he changed he changed it to like a 6-day school and all kinds. He was an ideology teacher in charge of the school system. So get rid of foreign science, Jewish science from the curriculum, and let's go back to teaching National Socialism in schools and all this crap. He was kind of productive. Walter or Richard Derrere, he was, in my understanding, a organic farming guy, blood and soil. Franz von Papen, I know they call him a monarchist. Yes, I would go generally with monarchist instead of fascist, but whatever. Now, domestic ministers. For minister in trade, I can understand. And now he was not this at this time, at least. Franz von, I don't think he ever had this title. I guess you could make him such. In 1935, late 1935, Franz von Papen is sent as special envoy to Austria with the mission of starting to get the Nazi Party unbanned because a Nazi assassinated the leader of Austria in 1933, and the party was banned and whatnot. So he is in Austria with the ultimate goal of getting of Anschluss. So he would be historically not available now. Now, if you wanted to make, if you're trying to make a realistic, good history game, if you made him Minister of Trade, you would make this unhappening. Just get rid of Anschluss. Now, I don't know how that works for claiming other territories in this whole thing. So he is the man that is running Anschluss with inside of Austria. So do you watch cartoons or anything like that? Not a whole lot cartoons. Okay, so I don't know Minister of Commerce here who looks like he's wearing an SS uniform. Don't know him well. I mean, I don't know. Can't place the name. Franz Schallenberger. I've heard the name. I can't go beyond that. The moment Postmaster General, again, he would have very little power. What I'm looking for, and this is, again, what we're to get right. I'm going to come back to this. Why do you not? Because he was the Minister of Propaganda well before 1936. So I don't know why you don't start with him here in office and then require to change it if you so wish to, move to other support kind of things. But so that is a no-brainer. Now this one I sort of kind of get, because this is sort of a double slot. You get to have two guys. You can't have the same guy in here twice. Now again, Black Eyes people, the part you're getting wrong, these two should be put together, okay? These two, Hermann Goering and Walter Funk, are the same, okay? Walter Funk is Goering's yes man. That's all he ever was. He is the guy who's going to carry out Goering's capability. But we're going to have we're going to leave this empty for the moment. Now, again, what they got right and what they got wrong. Foreign policy interventionism. In 1936, maybe you could call that because Spain in 1936. That is possibly. Okay. Women allowed, that would be a correct starting position here. I think they did change it. I don't know if they watched some of my videos, because definitely women were allowed. Age bracket, 2-year draft. That seems about right. No foreign recruitment at this point. Yes. This is probably correct. I know I did give myself a bunch of political power to change things or to set them to the correct. This is probably correct. We may come back to this because we have stability problems here. Protectionist economy. Export autarky. Okay. Now this is something I'm not understanding how these relate to this and whatnot. They were definitely a protectionist economy. Export autarky. Right. Okay. Guess we go with that. High tariffs. Average tariff. Civilian construction speed. Now, okay, weekly stability down. We're going to have to come back at that. Look at that here. Okay, high education investment, yes. Police state by 1936, I would go yes. State press, I would go yes. I'm looking at their starting positions here. Standing army, yes. Okay, what is F? Foreign something regulations? Okay. This is wrong. This is wrong. Even though it's giving good stability here, this is straight up foreign investors banned. Ford has 2 major factories, Ford automobiles, and I keep forgetting. I think it's GM, General Motors of America, owns Opel. I believe it's that. They're the maker of the Opel Blitz truck, famous in Germany, sort of the standard military truck. So that is a foreign company with foreign investments. During this time period of 36 through 1940, or late 1939 actually, but you have Standard Oil and Germany working together heavily to develop synthetics. Standard Oil is working with and investing in Germany's development of synthetics. They are looking for synthetic rubbers, not synthetic oils, but it's IG Farben is the German partner in this, and they are looking for both synthetic rubbers and synthetic oils. So this here is foreign investors would be regulated. I know this actually takes our weekly stability down, but this would be what would be the correct starting point as far as I can tell. because we see significant foreign investors. Where the Soviet Union, as far as I can tell, I cannot see any foreign investors. They are allowing, I think again from GM, they hire somebody and buy a bunch of machinery to set up a tractor plant that then becomes a tank production plant later on, as either after the war starts or as the war is gearing up for. But that is definitely the Soviet Union hiring foreign specialists, not foreign companies to come in and handle things, invest. Most industries nationalized. No, no, no. This is not the case. Now we can look here. See, I'm not even going on this as what is min-max best. This key industries nationalized. Okay. I'm thinking of how to say that. How do you determine nationalization? In 1936, Hitler is still very paranoid about his position and authority. He does get, by 36, National Socialist labor union representatives in all of the industry. But they are not, to my knowledge, sitting in the boardroom as commissars. Okay? They are not controlling the industries. In 1936, again, to my knowledge, prove me wrong out there. Prove me wrong. And I'll happily learn. Okay. But to my knowledge, in 1936, and I'm talking we'll use the Japanese term, zaibatsus, the big sort of mega corporations, like Krupp. Okay. None of them were controlled by the government. Okay. The only industries that I know that are actually nationalized, to use the term as it's understanding, because I know there's the YouTuber TIK. Love him, great guy. I don't know. He does great history, but he gets some of this stuff wrong because he looks at government influence and overstates it at times. So, they're the only, again, from my detection in 1936, the only industries that I know that have been nationalized are Jewish industries. Okay. So, key industries, no. Why can't I go here? Oh, I see. Current ruling party is fascist, so I can't have private control. First off, Black Ice, National Socialism is not fascism. I know we're starting with paradox, and they went with their sort of three political party type things: communist, liberalism, and fascism. But National Socialism and fascism are two different things. Hitler does not have full control at this point. Hitler has huge amounts of power at this point. I would put Hitler really only becomes fully in power in 1940 after the fall of France. That's me. But in National Socialist Germany, most industries under private control. Oh, the railways? No. The Reichsbahn? No. The Reichsbahn is under state control. So industries getting their steel or getting their iron from the iron mine to the steel mill. Often they were built close together. Or, I mean, they build the steel mills near the iron mines, or getting the coal to the steel mill. Very well could be needing Reichsbahn resources. So I would definitely give you that this isn't there's a lot of control, a lot of market control at sort of at the final end and stuff. So I would give it to you that it is not a free market economy. I'll gladly give you that, because it wasn't. But it was not well, if you go say, is railway an industry? Yeah, sort of. I mean, are roads industries? Yeah, sort of. I mean, because roads need maintenance too, railways do as well, and operators. So, because roads slash, trucking or something. But this should be, that's max of what it should be. But even that probably should be something there. So that gets us down to here. I'm not going to start out and put here. We're going to come back to this. I'm not going to give us him. He's the nut job. Okay. Xenophobe. Weekly manpower, monthly manpower. I don't know why that's so badly. What I'm worried about is this stability here. That we saw that this went down. Oh, another thing is, here, we never got to here. Okay. I would say in 1936, yes, in 1936, and see, so the problem is and okay, I understand, and I'm not disagreeing with the idea that it's not just click button, get new result. I like that. The devs may be watching this, but I'm not going to click this right now because of these many days here, 178 days, because starting in 37, I would say it was starting to be early mobilization. But this should start out as civilian economy. I would say in an industrial sense, it really industrial mobilization starts with the 4-year plan, which I know you know about, because here it is, and here we have April. So it starts here. This starts this. From a military production plan, I would really go sort of 37. So we're gonna go over to this here. So we're gonna go to this. And now it's gonna take 80 days to get this into proper positioning here. But this is where it should start out. This is too far advanced, in my opinion. Okay, now I know this is taking a lot, but getting started. I do believe they have, see, that's gone down to 0 days. Enter the Rhineland 45 days. This looks, and I've not gone in and compared specifically, but it looks like they've radically reduced down. Well, still 56 days, 21. I don't know. I'm going to go in and compare and contrast because, well, this is still 32 days, 21 days. I don't know. Maybe they have, because I think they have reduced down. So we're going to start with Allgemein SS because that just takes, because that'll add some stability. Now they still, because if you notice here, green means unresearched. Green means researched. Black ice. Get this worked out. Switch whatever graphic calling needing between researched and unresearched. Get it the same for both, please. Please, for the love of God. Why do you do this? Green means unresearched here, and it turns to gold or tan or whatever. So get this research. Get this so I don't have to constantly worry about what is what. Now we're going to go here for base stability, 2%, 83 days, because I want to build that up. Which consumer electronics here now, consumer electronics here, they have a phonograph, which, you know, playing records, but and which this is non-electric, that you literally wind up. I mean, that machine there, that's not a consumer electronic. That TV, yeah, but what they really mean is the Reichskamfer, the radio. So yeah, that's good. We want to do that. Now, I would say that Germany had a high level of quality control in 1935. So I don't know why we're not starting with this one done here. I don't understand that. I'm going with the historical, the dispersed industry. We're going to do combat engineering company just to do that one there. As you can sort of see, I did look at this the other day. Yeah, this is controversial to me that you have to research this. I know they had already been researching it by this time period, but and they were still, and the first orders of tanks, I looked this up last night over this, so I didn't put my foot in my mouth too badly. They were heavy torpedo development. Is that like the Kai-10? I don't know that Germany really had those kind of things. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to come here and notice 723 days. Wow, that's a long time to get that researched. Okay, aircraft. Well, we're going to come over here and get the BF-109B research. So, yeah, they still weren't doing this. Okay, now we're also going to come here. Okay, so now I've sort of kind of gone in and to a degree I just did 900 as sort of an generic number to mostly fix the starting conditions. But I would say Hitler had a lot of political power stored up by this point. I want to see here. Okay. Into the Rhineland. Oh, good. They give you political power here. Good. So I was just checking. Good, you get political power because he got a lot more political power. I would say he had some. So I looked at all the quote unquote changes that I made at the start of this. And these. Again, this is what I don't like about Paradox. That all of these things, and this is more Paradox that Black Ice is continuing the tradition of. Why are all of these empty? You know, are you going to say that there were no aircraft designers in 1936 that were operating effectively? Well, 1934, probably this would be correct, and the Luftwaffe, didn't really exist, and we're talking about military aircraft. 36, maybe. You can really maybe it. But by this point, oh, God. Fucking get rid of this Hugo Boss shit, please. Fucking get rid of this now. What? This is, I hate you lying to people. This is not true. You are perpetuating a falsehood. Okay? Hugo Boss had a fucking storefront and like 10 people working for him or 20 people working for him out back behind the storefront. They made uniforms to order for people. Okay? And you're not explaining that. No. I don't know if you think you're being cute, but this is this is perpetuating a fraud, in my opinion. Fucking get rid of this. Get rid of this. I'm going to make a special video to make sure they see this. This is wrong. I mean, this is getting near to rage quitting for me. I mean, quite honestly, because I see this crap that people put around on the internet as if it were fucking true. It's a lie. I know they don't specifically say he's designing it, but Hugo fucking Boss did not design a goddamn uniform at all, one little bit. Not an SS uniform, not an Army uniform, not a NSDAP or SA uniform. He didn't design any of that stuff. He was just a fucking tailor. So if you wanted custom tailored uniforms instead of buying off the rack, he was just one of the smaller ones to go get it from. Okay, so we're going to go with Mauser. See, I don't know why Mauser wouldn't be a starting functionality. Okay, now tanks. I could see 36 is not yet picked. Navy, though. I would say Navy would already be picked. Grand Battlefield would probably be the one that was picked. You go. Okay, Schleswig-Holstein, at least Navy dockyards. Okay, to get our long-range cruiser submarine visibility cruiser research speed, but we can't pick that one. I would think that might have been the one destroyer or this. Why can't we pick this? Okay, January 1939. Okay. That's probably historical, but yeah, whatever. We're gonna do that. Okay, that's probably starting in having some political power. Now, some of these other things we should change here. Now, I also want to come in here and remember to do this. I know we haven't had the clock starting at all. We're going to come and do full there, full there. This way we're going to concentrate to get these things. We're going to skip those. We're going to come down here because we want to get the ones that are mostly done finished first. Let's come up here and grab these and go down, just because they're going to have their one. Here we go, factory, but continuing there. We want to make resources available to the things that are mostly done first. So there we go. There we go. Just get that done now. All right, all that blathering, all that historical commentary. And let's go a little bit faster, and we will start this. Okay, we got the SS thingy here. Okay, we got that. I think we need to do the Rhineland next. 45 days. There are some good options to do other stuff. Okay, let's look at trade and such here. Okay, now, let's see. Now we can get steel. We're going to try to do some historical. Yes, I already noticed this. See, steel is a produced item here, and they've introduced this instead of just a resource on the map, and that's fine. And I'm not sure how much it helps the game, but it's definitely realistic here. Oh, I'm not talking about the test versions of Black Ice, but once you release a big major version of Black Ice, like you've done here for this, and you introduce a new mechanic like manufacturing steel, and when there is a major topic in World War II talk, and you don't fucking get it right, where the fuck is Swedish steel? Where is the Swedish steel? There is no Swedish steel. Where are the Swedish steel plants? I see Swedish iron, and I see Swedish tungsten. Here's a little secret about this. There is no Swedish tungsten. They don't have any tungsten. At least not on an industrial scale. There is no Swedish tungsten. Why, in Hearts of Iron, does Sweden have tungsten? Or as it was maybe more popularly known back then, wolfram. Why? It wasn't just me, but I was literally part of the discussion. And looking into it, even from a modern source, we can't quite nail down what it was. But the iron that was coming out of up here, or at least certain major veins of it, had some impurities. Basically, all iron has some impurities. But as it was, smelted down, separating the rock from the iron and turning it into iron, it had some impurities. It is believed that it's quite possibly the impurities were some tungsten. But the Swedish steel, and it wasn't to any of our research, and it wasn't mostly my research, it was somebody else. But I was reading it, things that he was posting up. It wasn't any special manufacturing process in making the steel. But it would come out very hard. It was effectively what you would get in making a steel tungsten alloy for machine tools. Sometimes some of the machine tools were literal tips of like tungsten and whatnot. Some of the machine cutting tools were a tungsten steel type, steel as in coal and iron together, alloys. Steel itself is an alloy, it's carbon and iron, I know that. But there was a major plant up here that worked year round. But during winter, the railways were not reliably opened, and because I don't even know if there's this much railways up there, and or the port up here, I'm not exactly sure of the details, was iced in during the winter. So during the winter, they could get it out through Narvik because it wasn't iced in and it was a shorter distance to keep the snow, running snowplow trains and keeping it open. So there was a massive steel industry up here in Sweden in the north. So we gave it some tungsten. And I think that is still a viable thing. But you should also give Sweden some steel, not just massive amounts of iron, people. Steel as well as iron. And hi, Brian, how you doing? Hope you start a campaign on this version of Black Ice because this version I have in Russia is a real pain in the ass. Well, I'm not sure when I'm going to start a campaign on this. I very well might, but why start a campaign on such a highly flawed thing as this? I might consider moving this over and mod it myself to give somehow I don't. You know, they need to have some steel plants and generating some steel. I don't know quite how that would work with this. I'm just thinking here because it's just you're not given here on the map. Maybe I just give it to them on the map because what the hell? Where is my Swedish steel? There is no Swedish steel. Now we'll come over to iron here. Where is Luxembourg? Let's go with Luxembourg. Luxembourg. Let's do that. That should get us much more iron. Okay, here we are at negative there. Okay, let's come over here. We are producing. How much does the Netherlands have on resources on the mainland of Europe? Okay, well, we can take a quick look here. Let's click resources. It has 33 food here, 34 food over here, and 52 coal, 5 iron, and 24 food. So that's what it has on the mainland. Not very much. I mean, food, a reasonable amount. Not very much coal and very little iron. And I don't know what it should be, Arno. I've sort of looked into some areas pretty damn deeply into World War II. Other areas, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we could get, I guess we'll get from the Dutch East Indies. Let's get one thing here of rubber to give us a positive rubber trade here. Okay, we're going to go with the smaller guns here. I get that there are some production issues early game, had to pump out equipment, yeah. Now here, and look, I am not hating on black ice here, because I'm not really saying, I'm saying certain things are wrong here, but I'm not saying this is a bad system. And we can see here to get, okay, each steel refinery outputs currently 30 steel. And to get 30 steel, you need 40 iron and 10 coal and 5 energy. Um, let's see. Come over here. Those are engines. Power plants. Okay. So energy production capacity at 120 here. Hydroelectric plant. I guess this is unbuildable in the game, which is somewhat reasonable. I think we'll get a bunch more, or maybe, I'm presuming, because there was a bunch down here. The whole dam buster thing. So, yeah, to give you some ideas of what's going on here. Okay, so well, I guess what we'll do here is, okay, we'll see about importing some steel, towing for 45 days. Let's just do 1 to get 12. Two. There we go. Yes, the food is very new, and the coal, because see, you now produce steel in a factory here. Okay, prepare for the Winter Olympics. Political power down. We'll get some political power and reduce world tension. We are ready. Okay, production. We have those, but whatever. I'm not worrying about those. Going up here, checking. Yeah. Being produced. Very good. And yes, unassigned. Oh, energy here. Okay, see, again, I really would love someone who really knows how to increase the ratio of coal. Yes, we have 15 power plants. Consumption, production, max production. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here. We'll see if this changes. Is 480 here from hydro plants. Once we get that. Okay, we're going to end this episode because it's gone on too long, but we will be continuing our look with more episodes here at the new versions of Black Ice and Hearts of Iron. I want to thank everybody, and if you're new around here, hey, please subscribe to the channel. I don't rant and rave all the time, and hopefully people will lick the like button and post your comments and corrections below. If I'm getting things wrong, I want to know it. So hope to hear from you. See you next time for more, yes, more Hearts.